Okay, so the car's now ripping. Quite a bit things happened in the last little bit to get it going, and well, finished off all the turbo kit. I made a little video of doing that stuff. Right now it's got like a downpipe on it, but then it just like comes out to the bottom of the car and ends there. So full exhaust still needs to be made for it. And that's what I'm going to be doing in the next month here, is just finishing off all the little things on the car. So I'll put a video in right now of it driving. To still do on the car, I gotta finish doing some wiring and stuff. Hold on. Okay, so still got a few things left to do in here. Basically for the cluster, I took a EG cluster and then just trimmed out the old stuff and made some brackets and stuff to hold that in there. So now it's got like a cluster with a speedo and a tacho that will work and everything. Sadly, the factory speedo won't work with the transmission because I'd rather have the ECU know the speed for boost by gear and stuff like that. So anyways, did that. Just gonna like do some carbon fiber up in the back area and to like fill the gaps around all the edges of it. And then just made a little panel there for the key and switches. Another little panel over there. Need to 3D print a little bracket to hold AFR and boost. And then just got some other like oil pressure, oil temperature and coolant down there. And so yeah, there's quite a bit of little things left to do. Make a proper mount and stuff for the ECU. Make a battery mount. Don't have one of those yet. Battery just kind of sits in there. And then upgrade the fuel system as well. That's lacking a little bit right now. So I need to get a bigger pump and some bigger injectors. But yeah, take the hood off and start doing. Another thing that happened when I was like first getting the car going, I accidentally hooked the battery terminals up the wrong way, and this was before I had any fuses or anything. This was like a month or two ago. And anyways, I fried the ECU. It burnt a big spot there. Tried to solder the spots back together, and ECU still didn't want to work. Honda was completely fine, but board's broken. So anyways, I got to take a chip off of here. Hopefully it's not damaged. Put that into my new board, or the new ECU, and then put the Honda data into that one. But yeah, that was another setback on the car. Okay, so this is where the magic happens, and basically it's a little bit clustered right now, but that's what I'm going to be kind of doing the next little bit here, is cleaning up a lot of this, because some of it was kind of experimental, so nothing was too permanent, but everything works great. So now it's time to just like seal it all up and make it better. So yeah, a couple things I got to do is make a breather box system for the valve cover and the crankcase. So I just got a whole bunch of AN fittings, and then got to weld some bungs and stuff onto the valve cover and get some AN lines still. I got to order that. And then make a little breather box with a little catch can. That'll just sit down here. And then get some loom for the wiring harness. Right now it's kind of just all exposed. And then yeah, there's a couple small issues with the car. I think it's got a small coolant leak. It was running a little bit warm, and it seems like it's eating coolant out of my reservoir. But it is a Honda branded water bottle, so it does work pretty good. And it seems to do the job, but it seems to be a small coolant leak somewhere. I think it's one of the plugs I put into the back of the block. I don't think I put Teflon tape on it. It was like that British style fitting. Anyways, I think it's near the top of the block, whatever. But yeah, so made intercooler pipe in, downpipe. Need to finish the exhaust, and need to put an LSD into it. That's kind of scary. I don't know if you can see on the video or not, but it torque steers pretty bad, and I'm like barely even getting into it. VTEC's also not even turned on yet, so there's still quite a bit more to come out of the car. I think the most it's hit is like 4 or 5, maybe 6 pounds of boost, but it really wasn't doing that much, and the throttle wasn't even, it was never more than half, I want to say. So there's still a lot more to come out of this thing. And yeah, now I'm gonna pull the hood off and start taking stuff off and investigating where the leak is and go from there. Another issue that occurred was this guy right down here, the slave cylinder. It quit. It stopped working. Started leaking really bad, and I had to like pump the clutch to get it to like build up pressure. So anyways, that thing is toast, and local parts store Lord Coast told me it was going to be 6 to 8 months to get one of those things. So order one of those off Rock Auto. Suspension needs to be aligned. I just kind of eyeballed it in the driveway here, and it's pretty good, but it could definitely be tuned. So I'm going to bring it to my friend's shop and put it up on the machine and actually see how it, see if we can dial it in half decent, because a lot of it's kind of custom suspensions, so there's not really like a certain spec to set it to, I guess. But we'll just kind of play around with maybe like some of the stock settings or something. Anyways, so far it's running pretty good though. Other than that, I need to do an oil change on it. Motor's probably got 50 kilometers or so on it now, maybe a little more, maybe 100K. And yeah, so keep diving into it. I managed to pick up some seats for the car. They're like made by some company in the States. Hold it upside down there. Anyways, yeah, found them locally from a guy. This one needs a little weld on the bracket, and then the two has to be bolted back together again, but this one's totally mint. So found some cheaper seats, put in it. They're all like approved and everything, but I'm gonna get some Recaros or something, but getting pretty expensive nowadays for that stuff. So anyways, put those things in the car. They look like they're gonna bolt up to the factory rails, or like minor modifications will have to be made for them to work on the rails. And yeah, so I need to make like a little area around the shifter. That's gonna be something coming up pretty quick here. And then clean up the back here, just do like an aluminum panel across there and hide a lot of the wires underneath the panel, and then you'll just have like your fuse box and on-off switch and all that stuff up top. Yeah, fuel pumps underneath the car. Still pretty noisy though. It's not in the tank, it's just like underneath it. But yeah, just still pretty noisy. So yeah, just gonna keep going. Holy fuck. Not that fun. Okay, so this guy down here, that's the thing that's leaking oil fluid, or brake fluid now, clutch fluid, whatever, hydraulic fluid, same thing, dot-free brake fluid. Anyways, that thing's leaking, so we're gonna put a new one on. Not quite here yet, so won't be doing that right away, I guess, but just gonna keep kind of tearing all the hoses off and getting the wiring harness out so I can fully lube it up. And then gotta run some wires for like VTEC, and what else do I gotta do? I think, oh yeah, just clean up the wiring for the radiator fan. And then yeah, get the headlights all plugged in. Turn signals and all that are all working, but headlights are not plugged in yet. It's the only one on that side of things. So yeah, keep going.